you are all here, and I'm very happy and thankful to you that you are taking out your time for these classes. And I hope that these next 1 hour will be useful for you, that you will have a revision of what you already know, or maybe you learn some new things. Okay. So let us begin. First of all, we were doing the part one. We'll do a quick recap. So we'll start with some questions, some quiz. Okay, a little bit of quiz and questions and things like that. So Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki jai, Nitai Chaitanya ki jai, Parshuram Bhagwan ki jai, Vaman Dev ki jai, Giri Govardhan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dedicated to His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, Spiritual Master in GBC. So we were doing this chapter named Nature, Enjoyer and Consciousness. Nature, Enjoyer and Consciousness. So a very important chapter to philosophically understand, okay, who are we, living entities, and who is Krishna. That is called as Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana means to understand about who am I and who is God. What's my relationship with God? And what am I supposed to be doing? Okay, to understand this philosophically is nature, enjoyer, and consciousness. It also like connects the nature part of it, the material nature. The material nature, we see the material nature in front of us, but we cannot see Krishna. Consciousness we can experience, right? Consciousness we can experience. Consciousness is the symptom of soul. So we said that there are, if you divide Bhagavad Gita into 3 parts, which part are we right now in?
Third part.
Third part, chapter number 13. Correct? That's called as Jnana. First part is karma, second part is bhakti, third part is jnana. So there's a lot of knowledge part of it, 13th chapter especially filled with knowledge. So this can be reconciled with the Vedanta Sutras. Even Krishna refers to the Vedanta Sutras, and he says that if you want more information, you can read the Brahma Sutras or the Vedanta Sutras. Krishna references it. So that's the very interesting point about Bhagavad Gita is Vedanta Sutras are like considered to be the topmost spiritual knowledge. Okay, and Bhagavad Gita is directly connecting to the Vedanta Sutras, and it is very much in line with the Vedanta Sutras. Okay. So we saw Arjuna's question. What was the question asked by Arjuna? 3 things.
He'll ask for 6 things, Prabhuji. He'll ask what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is Kshetra, Kshetrajna. Then he'll ask what is knowledge and object of knowledge.
Perfect. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Jnana, Jneya. So what is Prakriti? Well, let's start with Kshetra. No, let's start with Kshetra. What is Kshetra?
Our body. Our body.
Our body is a Kshetra. Kshetrajna, who is Kshetrajna?
Knower of body.
Yeah, who is that? Who is that knower of the body?
Paramatma.
There is only one knower or 2 knowers?
2 knowers. Atma and Paramatma.
Atma and Paramatma, right? And what is the jnana? What is knowledge?
Knowledge, I think it's to know that Paramatma is there in the Atma.
Knowledge
inside.
is to know about these 2 knowers. That is knowledge. That is Atma and Paramatma. What is the object of knowledge?
To uplift spiritual, uplift in the spiritual life. And
To reach him finally.
The final object of knowledge is
To reach him.
super soul. Super soul. The super soul is the object of knowledge. I mean, ultimately, the ultimate knowledge is about to know about Paramatma. Paramatma is the object of knowledge. Gneya. Gneya means object of knowledge. So here Krishna is saying, like I said, first of all, he speaks about who is a Kshetra. Kshetra is the body. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhidiyate. That is, he's saying, body is the Kshetra. And anybody who knows this Kshetra is Kshetrajna. That means he's saying the body, the Atma is the knower. And then in the next verse, he says, another Kshetrajna, 2 Kshetrajna. First Kshetrajna is saying in the first shlokas, 13.2, he's talking about Kshetrajna number 1. The Kshetrajna number 2 is saying Kshetrajnam cha api mam vidhi. I am also, he's saying, Kshetrajnam cha api. Cha means also in Sanskrit. I am also the Kshetrajna. I am also the knower of the body. Okay. Now, to understand about this body and its knower is called as knowledge. To understand about this body and the knower, that is to understand about the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the two Kshetrajnas put together, is called as knowledge. Okay. And we saw the difference between the Kshetrajna 1 and Kshetrajna 2. What's the difference? Tenant and the landlord. What's the difference?
The first one knows only about that person, self body only. But the next Paramatma knows about everybody and what is happening in everybody's.
Yeah. Our soul is having consciousness only pervading within our body, limited to our body. But super soul is pervasive consciousness of the entire universe. So he's like the consciousness for the consciousness. Just like we have soul, the soul has another soul that is like the Paramatma, right? So that's like that. So that is a super consciousness. Krishna knows about everything. Farmer knows only his land. The king knows all the lands. Super consciousness. Krishna knows all the bodies. I know only my body. I feel the pain of my body. But Krishna can know all, like CCTV camera. You see, they keep the CCTV camera and they're able to see all the lenses, right? They're able to see what's going on in floor number 1, floor 2, floor 3, floor 5. Like that, Krishna has got eyes everywhere. So he's got CCTV camera everywhere. He's able to see every person's body, every person's feeling, everything. I mean, you can just imagine how it will be. It's not possible for us to even imagine, right? Okay, so then we saw what is a Kshetra. What is Kshetra constituting of? How many elements?
24 elements.
24 elements, right? Very quickly, 24 elements are the 5 gross elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. 5 elements. Then knowledge acquiring senses. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Then the working senses. Voice, legs, hands, anus, genitals. These are the working senses. So how many? 15. Sense objects. Form, sound, smell, taste, touch. 20. And mind, intelligence, false ego. Mind, intelligence, false ego. Everything is made up of these 24 elements. Okay, these are the 24 material elements. Even before the creation of the universe, there were 24 elements first which were created. First, he started with the creation of the 24 elements. After the 24 elements got created, then everything, all the bodies got created. It's like the cement and the raw material for construction of buildings. You can think of it like that. Okay, now another interesting point here is the interactions, right? See, sometimes we like something, sometimes we hate something. Ichcha, dvesha, right? So for example, if I ask you what's your favorite food, some of you may say, yeah, this is my favorite food. If I'm going to ask others, they'll say, no, I hate it. Correct? Somebody can say, I like vegetables. Somebody can say, no, I hate vegetables. Somebody can say, I like curd. Somebody can say, I hate curd. So these kind of like, hatred, happiness, distress, right? And life symptom, conviction, dhriti. All these are interaction of these 24 elements and nothing else. So whatever is going on within us, we don't need to take it so seriously because it's all just interactions of these material elements. That's it. It's not us. It's not us. Okay, it's just that whatever is going on inside the processing is not us. We are the soul. So it's different from this gross body and subtle body. See, angry, disgusted, fearful, happy, neutral, sad. All of these are interactions of the 24 material elements. So the thing is, we have now very interesting, there is some brain chips that the scientists are creating. I don't know if you have read the news. Elon Musk was creating and then they tried it on somebody. So they're putting a brain chip and then you don't need a mobile phone any longer. Okay, you can see everything in a brain chip. Okay, you can create a brain chip, but can you create a brain or can you create a soul? That's the important point. Okay, Maybe you can create an artificial heart, that may be possible, artificial pacemaker. But we cannot manufacture the soul. Soul is the spiritual part, consciousness. A robot cannot have consciousness. I read the news today that there was some robot in South Korea which suicided. Did you heard this?
Yes, Prabhuji, I heard.
Yeah, that was funny. But then, yeah, the robot doesn't have any feelings, right? The robot doesn't have any.
It has the knowledge, Prabhuji, to choose the type of the mode.
Maybe, I don't know. But I'm sure it doesn't have all these moods, because the moods are all based on the interactions of the kshetra. It requires false ego, mind, and intelligence for that, right? That's not possible to create. Even if you create that, you can't create a soul. Okay, how are you going to create a soul, right? Soul is there already. You can't create a soul, right? Let's see how wondrous the nature is. Nature is, if you take a tomato, and there's so many seeds inside the tomato, right? Each of these seeds of the tomato, if you plant them, what happens? It grows into a tomato plant, right? Am I right? So strawberries also, right? Strawberry, there's so many seeds. If you take one of the seeds and put it, it's so wondrous, this how the human body is working. Okay, so soul we cannot create. We can create anything, but the soul is cannot be created. And then, yeah, we saw about the jnana, okay, knowledge. One of the questions of Arjuna was, what is jnana? What is ajnana also? So indirectly, as of course, he did not ask what is ajnana, but Krishna answered it. Krishna said, this is jnana. Anything opposed to this is ajnana. Simple. One important point to note is, of course, to gain knowledge, to gain spiritual knowledge, you require all of these qualities. Okay, I think there are 19 qualities. So there are a lot of qualities here which you require, like humility, pridelessness, tolerance, simplicity. These are the qualities of, approaching a bona fide spiritual master is a very important point to get jnana. So it's not possible to get jnana from textbooks, right? Of course, textbooks means if you read the commentaries of the acharyas, yes, you'll get knowledge. In that sense, yes. But without the help of a bona fide spiritual master, it is not possible. I mean, we cannot approach somebody material and then ask them to write a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And they'll write. We have so many commentaries like that, written by, there's one commentary called My Gita by Devdutt Patnaik. So he's just written some, whatever came to his mind, he wrote, right? So people like that will write something, but we won't get knowledge from such kind of books, that speculations, you see. Bona fide spiritual master, this is one important point. And the very important point highlighted here, what's that? What's highlighted here? Can anybody read that out?
Constant and unalloyed devotion.
Yeah, that's so important. Constant and unalloyed devotion. We have to mark this. Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita Upanishad. It's the Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogda Gopalanandana. Upanishad Saramsha. And some people say Upanishad doesn't have bhakti. Bhakti only in Purana. Wrong. Upanishad also has bhakti. There are many Upanishad Vakyas which talk about bhakti, which say that we must surrender to God. The thing about Upanishad says, it doesn't directly say the name of God. It doesn't indirectly talks about God. Indirectly. You see? Because it seems that Krishna likes Parokshavada. Means indirectly talking about him. Just like, if you're taking somebody's name, it's very personal, direct. That is supposed to be only for those people who are very close to you, right? For example, when you're in a court, how do you address the judge? Tell me.
My lord.
My lord.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. You don't call him by name, right? Mr. Muthuswami, I would like to say. When you say Mr. Muthuswami, it's become very personal and very confidential, right? You say, Your Honor, my Lord, Your Majesty, you see? So this is, similarly, the Upanishads are very formal texts, very formal, just like some kind of very formally written papers on God and his greatness. So they don't directly just mention Krishna, Krishna like that. Indirectly reference. Of course, there are some Upanishads which directly also reference, like Narayana Upanishad, and we have Krishna Upanishad, Vasudeva Upanishad. We have there was Gopalatapani Upanishad, etc. But generally, the Mukhya Upanishad, they just indirectly talk about Krishna. But here, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving some information, which is the very confidential and clear information, that constant and unalloyed devotion to me. Even in the Upanishad, it is said, Yasya deve para bhakti tata devo tata guru. That means you must have devotion to God and Guru, both. Only then you will get knowledge. If you have to understand the imports of Veda, you must have devotion to God and you must have devotion to Guru, both compulsory. And there's also one Upanishad Vakya which says that self-realization or the knowledge of the soul is only for those people whom he chooses. Of course, the name won't be given there. Whom the Atma chooses, who the Krishna chooses. That means we have to understand. Krishna chooses us for giving the knowledge. Okay? It doesn't come, it's not for everybody, and it's not that I can get the knowledge with my endeavor. Not possible. Krishna has to choose us for devotional life. Only then we will be able to do devotional service. And when we do devotional service, then we will understand about the complete knowledge of the Vedas. Okay. Finally, the take-home point is knowledge, if you have to gain, bona fide spiritual master, compulsory, first of all. Second thing, you must have constant and unalloyed devotion to Krishna. Not mixed devotion, not allowed. If you have mixed devotion, you may be elevated to higher planetary systems and then be born again in the family of righteous people, etc., and maybe after many lifetimes later, possible, may come to the stage of platform of knowledge. But unless you have constant unalloyed devotion to Krishna, you cannot understand the spiritual knowledge. That's why in this chapter also there's a verse which Krishna says, Bhaktya tu ananyaya shakya. Means what? Bhaktya tu ananya shakya means only with ananya bhakti you can understand this knowledge. And he says only the devotees understand. There's a verse like that, directly saying, Krishna saying, only my devotees understand Vedanta. Nobody else understands actually. They think that they understand, but they don't understand anything. So that's what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So if you want
Hare
knowledge,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes, sir.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry for interruption. I just have a question here.
Yes, please.
Prabhuji, before meeting the spiritual or before going to bona fide spiritual master, should we develop certain qualities and we should be qualified only then we have to meet spiritual master? How is it, Prabhuji?
Yeah, the qualification of a disciple is that, first of all, the disciple must be ready to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. This is the main qualification. Okay.
But
like
before
that.
meeting the spiritual master, should we be equipped with spiritual knowledge, all that?
Yes, little bit. Yes. Otherwise, if there is no knowledge, absolutely, it may happen that, somebody can take a shelter of a guru and after 6 months, goodbye. And maybe he may go to another guru and take another mantra. Right? Just like how we change gym. It may happen like that, no? We change sometimes. We go to one doctor, sometimes we go to another doctor. Like that, it should not happen, right? So it's a very serious thing, right? So taking the shelter of a spiritual master means it's for the lifetime. It's not just for a lifetime. Actually, the Vaishnavas say it's not just lifetime, okay? It's forever. For life after life, we are accepting the spiritual master, okay? So yes, for example, Srila Prabhupada said the qualification of a person who wants to take initiation is they must have read Bhagavad Gita as it is 10 times. Okay, of course, we are not following that so strictly in ISKCON at the moment. Maybe in future they may, because our Guru Maharaj, he keeps saying that we should bring that standard. May come in future. The 10 times Bhagavad Gita as it is must have been read. Actually, our Guru Maharaj, Jayapatak Maharaj has actually did like that. How he came to Krishna consciousness, we saw the other day. Did you see the story? What happened? Jayananda Prabhu was building the Ratha Yatra cart, right? And Jayapatak Maharaj, he meets the devotees first, and then he comes in search of the devotees and he finds Jayanand Maharaj, Jayanand Prabhu. He's building the cart. Then he speaks to him and say, okay. And then Jayaranda Prabhu says, okay, can you help me building this Ratha? He says, yes. And then he gives him that service to, first of all, he does some testing. So it's like,
Yes, yeah.
testing. You see, it's a funny test he does. But yeah, this is also like, Guru is testing. Something like that. Pata Pradarshaka Guru is not Diksha Guru, but still he's a person who has shown the direction, right? So the test is like this, right? He says, okay, can you, he puts one nail and says, can you just hammer this? This is the test. He puts a hammer and then the nail is gone. It's a test, pass. Next test. This is, you hold the nail, I will hit. He holds the nail and then he hits. Then he hits it the second time. Third time he removes the hand. Because hand will be injured otherwise. So then Jayaranda Prabhu understood, yes, you have passed. So now you can do the Ratha. And then after doing that Ratha, 2 weeks continuously he did service. Afterwards, he went to Montreal temple. He met Srila Prabhupada. And within 2 weeks, he shaved up his head. And he read Bhagavad Gita 10 times. And he got initiated within a couple of months. You see, that's the qualification of a disciple. Disciple must be eager to serve the Guru. Tatvidhi pranipatena hari prashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. Must be eager to serve the spiritual master. Service, very important. Disciple means must be eager to serve the Guru. That's the main point. Okay. Other than that, there's nothing, no qualification as such. This is the main qualification that is required. Is that okay? Okay, so we saw Super Soul has got eyes, hands, and legs everywhere. Sarvata pani padam tat sarvato shishiro mukham. So we saw Vishwarupa in the 11th chapter. We saw that Krishna's hands and legs are everywhere. It's very surprising. It's something which we cannot understand. It's inconceivable. How is it possible? See, the problem is we always keep comparing us with God. That's the problem. We think, how is it possible? How is it possible? I have 2 eyes, I have 2 hands, I have 2 legs. How is it possible that somebody can have eyes everywhere, legs everywhere, hands everywhere? It's like he's the super soul and the super consciousness. And with his energy, the entire material world is working. So he's completely cognizant of every nook and corner of the universe. That means there's no corner of the universe which he does not know what is happening. So that is super consciousness. It's something very beyond our reach to understand these things. So he's pervading everywhere. He is sarvam avritya trishtati, is everywhere. Just like the sun is all pervasive, is it not? Entire solar system is getting light from the sun. Am I right? Entire solar system is getting the light, correct? But the sun is staying at one place. But at the same time, the entire solar system is being lit. How? How? Can you tell me how?
360 degrees, it is, what is that? It is radiating its heat and energy, no? And all the planets are moving around it. That is the knowledge that we have. But I think Bhagavatam has different information, Prabhuji.
Okay.
That is, sun is in the center and all are circulated.
Yeah, what is getting circulated? What is that called? Which is getting circulated?
The planets
Prabhuji,
are moving.
according to material
Energy, Prabhuji.
sciences, what we study is the sun is the center and all the planetary systems are revolving around the sun, and earth and moon are rotating as well as revolving around the sun. That is what we have studied in material science. But yesterday in Bhagavatam, when we were reading in 5th canto, it was totally different.
We'll take that later. That's a different question. Cosmology. Okay. This is Vedanta. We'll come to that later. Okay, Mataji. Maybe we'll take a separate session on that, cosmology. Okay. Now, let's just come back to the topic. The topic here, my question is, sun is present everywhere. How? That's the question I asked.
That's energy, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, actually,
Yeah.
I studied chemistry post-graduation. It's a chemical reaction. nuclear fission reaction it is.
Sure,
So
it's fine. But my question is, okay, let it be nuclear
because
reaction.
of
But
that
how
light,
is
that much energy is emitted, and we call it as sun actually.
Also,
the question is, how is the sun is staying in one place, but it is reaching and illuminating all the solar system? How means, I mean, through what? Through what?
Through Paramatma.
Through, no, no, no.
Through
Through the rays, sun
through
rays.
his sun rays and energy and heat.
Sun rays,
Light.
correct? Sun is
Heat and
there at
light.
one place, but the rays are there everywhere. Is it not? Can you see that? The rays are there everywhere. Sun is there at one place. Similarly, Paramatma, there is only one Paramatma. It's not that we have 6 billion people and 6 billion Paramatmas. There's only one Paramatma. You can imagine this light. Maybe if you think that this is a spiritual light coming from the spiritual world, the Brahman, impersonal effulgence light, if you go inside it, there'll be the spiritual world. If you go deep into it, there'll be the planet of Krishna, and there'll be Krishna there. So like that, Krishna's energy is pervading all the universe. Okay, it is his energy. That's the point. Okay, this is energy. And yet, at the same time, he's very personal. How? It's not that he's just a light. You can't reciprocate with the light, is it not? Because Krishna said, I will accept leaf, flower, fruit when offered with love. Right? And we see that the fruit vendor, once she gives some fruits to Krishna, and then he gives some grains of rice in exchange, which converts into a lot of jewelry. So Krishna is ready to accept love. So he is personal at the same time, also impersonal. Both. He's not just one. Okay, he's all pervasive. Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuto. That is the sutra. Remember it. Whenever you get confused, just remember this shloka from Brahma Samhita. Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuto. That means he is present in Goloka Vrindavana, in his personal abode, and yet he is present in the heart of every living entity. Just like the sun and the sunlight. Sun is present only in the solar, in the wherever the place it is. But as a reflection, it can be present everywhere. For example, if I'm going to keep some pots, 10 pots, will I be able to see 10 reflections? Yes or no? Right? I can see 10 reflections in each pot. But that doesn't mean there are 10 suns. There's only one sun. Similarly, Krishna is one. Okay, but the super soul appears to be present in every living entity. But that is also like an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Okay, just like this Pratibimba. It's like that. Okay. And here we see Sarvendriya Gunabhasam, Sarvendriya Vivarjitam, Asaktam Sarva Bruchaiva, Nirgunam Guna Bhoktricha. Super soul. Now the topic is super soul. Paramatma. If you understand about Paramatma, then you have knowledge. That is knowledge. Jnana means to understand about Paramatma. This super soul does not have any senses like us. Krishna's senses are different, okay? He is the original source of the senses, yet he is without senses. Now, when you call Krishna as Rishikesha, what does Rishikesha mean? Anybody can say? Rishikesha, meaning
One
of
who has controlled all senses.
No. Rishika means senses. Rishikesha means controller of the senses. Not one who is controlled. Controller of everybody's senses. He's the controller of all the senses, especially of the devotees. And that's why it's called as Rishikesha. So he is the source of every sense. In the sense that the thing is, when the material creation happens, when we'll do it in more detail in one Bhagavatam class, second canto, when we are doing, it is described how the creation happens. At that point of time, there's a description of how the sense objects and the senses come into picture. Okay, so the senses also develop from Krishna's energy. The senses are working because of Krishna's energy, because of Paramatma energy. When Krishna desires, our senses will work. When Krishna does not desire, the senses will stop working. Okay. and yet he is without senses. Again, without senses means he is spiritual senses. That means if you're offering a plate of bhoga to Krishna, he doesn't have to put his hand and eat, right? He can eat with his eyes also. He can perform the activities of any senses with any other senses. That is his specialty. He can eat with eyes, right? Of course, but in Jagannath Puri, Krishna is so kind that he eats with his hands. Other places he eats with his eyes, we saw in the Mahatmya of Jagannath Puri, right? So Nirgunam Guna Bhoktracha, that means he is beyond the modes of material nature. Is completely beyond the three modes of material nature. Nirguna means no tinge of material nature is there in him. For example, we all know Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. And we all agree that sometimes we are lazy, postponing, Tamoguna, sleepy, ignorance, Tamoguna. Sometimes we are competitive, we become angry, envious, we get a lot of desires, Rajoguna, right? And sometimes we are in knowledge, austerity, simplicity, peacefulness, Sattva-guna. These three gunas are there within us. But you see, the Rakshasas, for them, Tamoguna is predominant. Human beings, Rajoguna is predominant, competitive or energetic. Devatas, Sattva-guna is predominant. But however, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying in the 18th chapter that there is no Devata, no demigod who can be called as Nirguna except Krishna himself. They all are in Sattva Guna. There is no Rajas Tamas in them, in the Devatas. But nobody can be called Nirguna except Krishna. Okay, this is the final verdict of the Shastras, that Nirguna, Krishna is only Nirguna. Completely beyond these three modes of material nature. It's the master of the three modes of material nature, Nirguna. Again, doesn't mean that he is impersonal or he doesn't have any kind of guna. Doesn't Lord Ramchandra have any guna? Doesn't Lord Krishna have any gunas? We have seen in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, the Bhudevi describes about the gunas of Krishna. The super wonderful gunas, super wonderful qualities of Krishna. Why is Lakshmi Devi getting attracted to Krishna if he has no guna? Right? No guna means no material gunas. He is transcendental. That's what it means. And what is interesting about Krishna is Bahir antascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshmatvat tad avigneyam durastam chantikechatat. Is there inside, is there outside also. That's very interesting to understand. How is it possible somebody can be there inside and somebody can be outside as well? He's there inside with the help of his energy. He's pervading everybody with the help of his energy. But originally he is present as well. It's very mysterious to understand, right? So anything moving or non-moving, stavara jangama, acharam and charam is there. Inside also, outside also is there. Bahir Narsimha, Hridaya Narsimha. Right? Antar Bahischa Narayanaha. Right? There is a very nice stotra, Narayana stotra. Right? So Urdhvascha Narayanaha, Adho Narayanaha, Antar Bahischa Narayanaha. Everywhere Narayana is there. He's above, he's below, he's around, he's in the 8 directions. Everywhere he is there. Right? So that is very special. And he is very far away and very near as well. Right? That's interesting. I was actually reading that Vaikuntha Lokas. I mean, there's a cosmology. You are reading about cosmology also, right? So first of all, we are in the Bhuloka, Jambudvipa. And beyond Bhuloka, there is another 7 planetary systems above, 7 planetary systems below. And if we go to the border of our material universe, it is made up of 7 coverings: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So many coverings are there. And beyond, if you each of these coverings is like 10 times more than the previous covering. Okay. And if we cross all of this and go out, then there is a spiritual light that comes. There's the impersonal Brahman. First of all, Viraja river comes. After the Viraja rivers, impersonal Brahman comes. Impersonal Brahman is like you can imagine some crores of suns at the same time. There's so much of illumination. The Jnanis want to merge into that illumination called impersonal Brahman. And if you cross that impersonal Brahman also, then comes Mahesh Dham, also called as a Nitya Kailasha, where Sadashiva is there. If you cross that Mahesh Dham, Sadashiva Loka, you get Vaikunta Loka, where Lord Vishnu is present in various incarnations. If you cross that also, then there is Saketa Loka. Ayodhya is there, where Lord Ramachandra is there with Sita Devi. If you cross that also, then there is Golok Vrindavan. It is said that above the Vaikunta planets, you have to travel 2000 crore miles to reach Golok Vrindavan. So you can imagine how far Krishna is. Durastam cha antike cha tat is very far, far away, unimaginably far. And yet he is so near to us. Simply here his pastimes is there right in our heart. Right? So our heart can become Vrindavan. We can make Lord Krishna sit in our heart. Right? That's also possible. So near, so far at the same time. Isn't it so amazing? And then avibhaktam cha bhukteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam bhuta bhartru cha teja jnayam grashishnu prabhavishnu cha. Very important words. He appears to be divided among all the beings. We say that super soul is present in every living entity. Doesn't mean we have so many super soul. 6 billion human beings, 6 billion super soul. Or maybe if we have 100 billion rats, we can't say 100 billion super souls are there. There's only one. Just like I said, if you have pot of water, if you have 10 pots of water, and if you try to see the reflection of the sun, you'll see 10 reflections. If you see on your head, sun you can see, or if you talk to somebody who is away somewhere else, you ask them, where is the sun? They'll say, it's on my head. For you, it appears it is on your head. For them, it appears it is on their head. But there is only one sun. Okay, so it appears to be divided, but there is only one Paramatma. He is situated as one. He is the maintainer of every living entity. Bhuta Bhartr. What is the relationship between God and us? Lord is the maintainer. The real maintainer is God. Right? And he is the Jnaya. He is the object of knowledge. Grashishnu Prabhavishnu cha. Very interesting. Prabhavishnu means he develops. Grashishnu means he devours. Devour means he will finish. He will create, he will finish. He will do both the things. That is what we have to understand. Because we living in this thing, God will only do good things. There's nothing called good or bad, what is good and what is bad, we don't understand. His perspective, we don't understand. He has given us the body. He has created the body. He has given us everything. He has given us happiness also. He has given us everything. And when it is time, he destroys also. Not only our body, he destroys the entire universe. The entire universe, our favorite places, our village, our city, our home, everything will go inside Lord Mahavishnu. Everything will be destroyed. Grashishnu means devour. He will just completely, just like a meals, he will finish it off, eat. Nothing will be there. There will be only for the night of Lord Brahma. Nothing will be there. Now, very interesting. Jyotisham api tat jyotis tamasah param uchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. Okay, very nice. So that is, anybody wants to read the shloka?
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
18th.
Yes.
Jyotishamabi tajyodihi tamasat paramuchyade jnanam neyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. Translation also?
Yes.
He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of the matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is object of knowledge and he is goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So right now we are talking about Paramatma. Now, what's the relation between Krishna and Paramatma? So Paramatma is the four-handed Vishnu. And Krishna is the original source. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. And this is our philosophy, that Krishna is the original source. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. And Vishnu is an expansion. Paramatma is the expansion of Krishna. And this is not completely baseless. It is given in the Shastras. It is given in multiple Puranas like that. That Krishna is the source. I'll tell you, there is one Shastra called Garga Samhita. One day we'll do one Bhakti Ladder meetup class where we will see what happens one day, how Krishna was born. When Lord Brahma, first of all, the Bhudevi comes to Lord Brahma, that's complaining that she's having a lot of irreligious kings. And then Lord Brahma takes her to Vishnu. He goes to Vishnu Loka. And then Lord Shiva also accompanies. All the Devatas, Indra, everybody will come. Very interesting. And then they will go to Vishnu and then they say that, there's a lot of irreligion. And Lord Vishnu says, we will go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. This is there in the Puranas. I'm telling you, Garga Samhita. Then he says, let us go to the Goloka Vrindavan. And they start rising above the material world. Then they see that the material world is like a small ball. Right? It's like a fig fruit. Like it's like a green ball floating inside water, Karanodaka ocean. Then they get frightened. What? Our universe is so small now. They see multiple fruits like that. There's so many universes. They all travel. First they will see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and crores of light, so much of light, sunlight. Lord Vishnu will say, pay obeisances to the light. And then Lord Brahma will pay obeisances to the light. That is impersonal Brahman. And they cross that light also. And they go to Vaikuntha Loka and then they cross everything and then they come to the Golok Vrindavan. Then there'll be one gopi who will be standing outside. He'll say, okay, who are you? Whom do you want to meet? Why do you want to meet Lord Krishna? See that actually we have come because we want to request him to come and take incarnation. Okay. Then she says, okay, which universe are you from? Can you please tell me so that I can inform him? Says, I don't know. What do you mean by which universe? There's only one universe which we know, which we belong to. That's what Lord Brahma says. There's Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara also. Three of them are there. They say like, Brahma says, we know only one universe. We're coming from that universe. Then she says in a mocking way, you don't even know that there are many universes. You don't even know your address, where you are from. Then Lord Vishnu says, no, we are actually coming from one place where Lord Vamana has performed the pastime of this one. Okay, I got it now. And she goes inside. So this is very interesting. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is there in the Golok Vrindavan. And his expansion is Vishnu, who is the Paramatma. Okay. That is the theology that we follow. So Krishna is situated in the heart of everybody in the four-handed form of Lord Vishnu. Okay. So he is the object of knowledge. Super soul is the object of knowledge. So, but what is the object of our knowledge? Can we tell me? Why are we going to school? What's the object of our knowledge? What is the goal of our knowledge? To make money.
To reach the Paramatma.
To reach Paramatma, yeah. But are we doing that in the schools? Are we teaching this? Are we teaching the
No.
actual? Yeah, that's what it's
Nothing of that sort. We learn all the unnecessary things and only now we are learning the right things.
Yeah, you're missing the whole point. That's what I'm trying to say. Jnanam, Gneyam, Jnana Gamyam. See, three words. Jnanam, Gneyam, Jnana Gamyam is super soul. To know about Paramatma is the object of knowledge, goal of knowledge, and the knowledge itself is him. But
Prabhuji, many don't know that this kind of knowledge is there, and we didn't know that spiritual, like this kind of coaching knowledge is there. Nothing we knew. We knew physics, chemistry, biology, all that.
yeah, yeah, that's physics, chemistry, biology is again.
No,
It's Krishna's
even
energy.
philosophy also, we were only taught Western philosophy, which Socrates and Plato and such thing. But we were not even mentioned about Shankaracharya or Madhvacharya or Rama.
That's cheating because
I feel
our
cheated
knowledge.
only.
Yeah, there's so much of knowledge that we have in the Vedas, and so many commentaries, so many acharyas, so many different perspectives. Nothing has been taught. They're teaching Socrates.
But at least we are grateful now, at least. So this Vasana will take us to the next Janma with all this knowledge and continue it next Janma at least.
All right.
But Prabhuji, I just wanted to tell, we have got it okay. At least we are getting this much. At least something we are getting at. But these kids and all, like again, they are into same loop, Prabhuji. What we
No,
underwent,
we
they are
have to
also
do it.
undergoing.
We have to drive them to this track. It is our duty now.
Yeah, Krishna has
We
given
try.
us that service to enlighten people, right? So it's your service now. You learn about it, and then
No,
you enlighten
when
others.
we are doing this, my daughter is already into this, and my granddaughter also is into it because I sit with us. I stop everything at one point and sit with this, so they automatically they follow.
That's nice. Yeah. Well, whatever the leader does, the
We don't have
followers
to tell them to do
follow.
it. We have to
Correct.
do it. They will watch and learn from us.
That's
That's
right.
what my experience.
That's right. Yadyadachariti shrestha taddadevetaro nara. Sayat pramanam kurite lokastad anuvartate. The whole world will follow you if you are following it, right? So now, yeah, coming back to the point. The point here is, yeah, the goal of knowledge, everything is this super soul, which we have to understand in detail. And the entire Bhagavad Gita, entire Bhagavatam, of course, the entire Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, everything is actually meant for understanding Krishna. That's the reason why he said, Veda is just sarvair ahameva vedyo. What does that mean? What does that mean? Veda is just sarvair aham eva vedyo. Can anybody tell me?
I think Veda is everything. I am the Veda itself. Is it?
No. Of course, Veda is the incarnation of Lord, but when he means Veda is just sarvair aham eva vedyo. Vedyo means to be known. Aham means me. I am to be known. See, by reading the entire Vedas, the point is we have to come to this chapter, this verse, to know about Krishna. To know, because Krishna is the person who is supposed to be known. It's not that we just remain externally in external religious principles and reading external literature. We have to come to the essence, deep. And yeah, right, somebody was saying not everybody has an opportunity. Yes, not everybody has an opportunity because Krishna chooses what knowledge you should get. Krishna gives you this knowledge because Krishna says, Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamah nashayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhasvata. With the knowledge from within, which is like a lamp, which removes the darkness from within. That lamp, Krishna, out of anukampa, means out of mercy, he gives that light which destroys the ignorance. So definitely we must be very, very grateful to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, we can never know this secret of the Vedas. We can spend lifetimes after lifetimes just trying to understand externally and not being able to come to the point. Okay, it's situated in everyone's heart. Okay, Hare Krishna. And then now, very important point here. This is what I was saying. Anybody wants to read this sloka?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita 13.19. Iti kshetram tata jnanam gneyam choktam samastataha madbhakta yetad vignaya madbhavayopapadyate. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So far, what did Krishna describe? Kshetra, Jnana, Gneya. What is knowledge? What is object of knowledge? What is Kshetra? And then now just read this verse. It's so clear. Okay. Bhagavad Gita is so clear. We don't need to be a big pandit for understanding. Okay. It's so simple words. Madbhakta yetat vignaya. That means Madbhaktaha means my devotees. Etad means this. Vignaya means understand. My devotees can understand this. Simple. It's like only my devotees can understand this thoroughly. And then attain the nature of Krishna. Mad bhava yopapadyate. Then we can attain his bhava. What is the bhava of Krishna? Spiritual nature. We have got a material body. Krishna has got a spiritual body. He's the source of all the spirituality, right? So we attain his nature, right? We get the nature of Krishna. That means we'll not be born again. Okay. That's the point. All right. So we'll go to the next part of this. That's like the part number 2. Let me just quickly share that. Start over. Very interesting discussion we're going to have. Okay. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Yes, here we go. This is a part 2. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidya anadi ubhavapi vikaramscha gunamscha chaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. Material nature and living entities should be understood to be beginningless. The transformations and the modes of matter are products of the material nature. That means all the living entities which are present right now in our universe, in the forms of animals and human beings or any other kind of divine beings, all of them, their original nature is beginningless. It's not that they have been manufactured. Soul cannot be manufactured in a factory. It is always there. That's it. That's what Krishna said, no? To Arjuna, there was never a time I was not there, nor a time you were not there. We are always there. Dehi nitya avadyoyam. Dehe sarvasva bharata. The soul is always present. Okay, and it's beginningless. Material nature also is beginningless. It's not that the material universe is just now created or something like that. Material nature as a raw product, it is always there. Just like the earth, the land is always there. So sometimes it can become rocky. Sometimes it can become full of forest. Sometimes it is habitable. Sometimes it is uninhabitable. Sometimes it is manifested in the form of a building, or sometimes it is unmanifest in the form of sand. But it is always there, right? You got the point? Similarly, Prakriti is always there. Purusha is always there. Living entities are always there. Prakriti is also always there. They are beginningless, anadi. Both ubhavapi, anadi. And the transformations of the modes of the and the material modes of the matter are the products of material nature. Okay, the transformation of a body is transforming. Am I right? So we see 6 transformations of the body. Can you tell me what are the 6 transformations of the body? So what happens? First, let's just see living. Just take one. A dog, let's just for example. First thing, what happens? What's the first transformation? Birth. Second transformation.
Then it grows.
Third transformation.
Then it stays and it
stays. And the next
byproduct.
And then it'll have some kids or something like that, right? And then afterwards,
decay and death.
Decays and then dies. 6 transformations. So these transformations are not for the living entity. It is a product of the material nature. It is not that the living entity is not going through the 6 transformations. Don't think that this dog is actually born, or the dog is like, it's just the body of the dog which is getting born, which is growing, it's having offspring, becoming old, decaying, and dying. Similarly, us also, we also, because we have falsely confused ourselves thinking that we are the body, we are lamenting for anything that's happening to our body. But the moment we understand that we are beginningless, and these transformations are not our transformations, they are the transformations of the modes of material nature, the transformations of the products of the material nature. It's not us, just the body that the nature has given us. It is going through the 6 transformations, and it is going to happen for every single person. There's no escape for that. So if we want to save yourself from suffering, we have to raise beyond the thought process that I am this body. As long as you think that you are the body, we can never be happy, obviously. How can you be happy? I'll tell you one story. There was a person who constructed a very wonderful villa. First of all, he purchased a very nice plot in a very, very hi-fi area. And then he constructed the best quality material, best architects, beautiful villa, beautiful furniture. And then, you know what he did? Can you guess what he did?
He put fire to it.
He just set it on fire. Then everybody asked, are you gone mad? Have you gone mad? Then he said, that's what we do, right? So, for example, our body. We love our body so much. We decorate our body so nicely. We bath it every single day. We groom it so nicely. Am I right? And then at the end, what is it that we are doing? Finally. Tell me.
Burning the body.
Burning the body. So for something which is going to be finally burnt, why are we doing so much of big scene for it?
Drama.
Right? Yeah. So we have to realize that. But we are not this body, we are the soul. These transformations are not for us. The soul body will go. Okay. So that's the point. Here, this is beginningless, and whatever is happening is not for us. So we should not be disturbed. It's not us, it's the product of material nature. Material nature is like always going through some kind of a life cycle. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, or the 6 transformations, they keep on going on. Okay. But not for us. Jiva doesn't go through a transformation. Now, very interesting theory, interesting point. Now it comes to a lot of deep philosophy now. You see, there are primarily 3 things that Krishna is talking about. One is Prakriti and Purusha, or Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Prakriti and Purusha, there are 2 Purusha. Purusha, first Purusha is a living entity, who is an enjoyer, marginal energy. Second Purusha is the Purushottama. Purushottama means Adi Purusha. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajan. Purushottama is a super soul. So Krishna, just see the relationship. The diagram very nicely puts it. Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead who has got nothing to do with this material world. Of course, he is maintaining the material world through his expansion called super soul, Paramatma. Paramatma is like the soul of the universe. If Paramatma is not there, Prakriti cannot work. Prakriti is dead matter. Just imagine, like, a phone without a battery, right? Or a phone out of charge, the phone doesn't work, it's useless. Like that, Paramatma is like that, okay? Electricity, if there's no electricity, the light won't be on, right? So something like that. Paramatma is like the lighting force. Or for anything to move, he is the spiritual force behind everything, and even including the material nature also is empowered by Paramatma. Living entity also empowered by Paramatma. And this living entity is a part and parcel of the Paramatma. Okay? Krishna is the original source of everything. And he has got nothing to do with the material world. He is enjoying in the spiritual world. But he has kindly agreed to come upon the request of Lord Brahma to our material world. Correct? So there is a very beautiful shloka in Gopi Gita. It says, Na khalu gopika nandano bhavan akhila dehinam antaratmadri vikhana sartito Vishwaguptaye Sakyavudeyivan Satvatam Kule. The gopis are singing and saying, you are not the son of Yashoda, who is come in the material world like a boy, like a child. You are Akhila Dehinam Antaratmadruk. That means you are the super soul in the heart of every living entity. And Lord Brahma requested you to come. Vikhana Sartito, Lord Brahma said, please come, please come. We saw the story I explained, right? Lord Brahma along with Vishnu and Shiva, everybody went to Goloka and they requested, please come. Then Krishna said, okay, I will come. And he came. He doesn't have to come. Krishna said, I will go. Then Radharani said, then I will not be alive. Then Krishna said, you also come. Then he said, but if I have to come, Govardhan has to come, Yamuna has to come, and I forgot the third. Govardhan, Yamuna, and something else, somebody else. Subala, I think. All these three should also come. Then I will come. And Krishna tells to the demigods, okay, you come as this, you be born as this, you be born as this, you be born as this, and he will tell everybody. Indra, you be born as Arjuna. Okay, to this, you be born as this, you be born as this. And we'll be coming. Lakshmi will be born as Rukmini. I'll come. So Krishna has come, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he has come to our material world. Of course, the super soul is in his personal expansion. Super soul is always there. It's not that he's only in Dwapar Yuga, Krishna is there. Treta Yuga is not there. No, he's always there in the form of personal expansion. That is, super soul is always there. Because I told you, super soul is not there. Nothing will work. The sun will not give the light. If you switch off the bulb, what happens? Light will be off. Similarly, the power of the sun and the moon is Paramatma. If you switch off, there's no Paramatma, means sun also will not be glowing. Fire also will not be hot. Nothing will work without super soul. Super soul is always there. But Krishna personally came. That is a beautiful thing. And he's personally given this Bhagavad Gita. He's personally speaking to Arjuna. That is the most beautiful aspect. Right? So we are the living entities, part and parcel of Krishna, who have forgotten him. And we are actually rotting in this material world. And we have confused ourselves to be the body, which is given by the material nature. And we are suffering. The reason for suffering, I told you, we are thinking, I am the body, I am the body, I am the body, right? We have to come out of this false conception that I am the body by turning towards Krishna. We are turning towards Maya. This is the external energy of Krishna. We are more interested in land. We are more interested in a place. We are more interested in city. We are more interested in the physical aspect of it. As long as we are interested in that, we are more interested in our body, we will suffer. But the moment we turn our head towards Krishna or towards his expansion, super soul, then we realize that, oh, I am not the material body. I am not this nature. Then you will become happy. You will get the nature of Krishna. Krishna is blissful. Raso Vaisaha. Anandamayo Bhyasat. Vedanta Sutras means Anandamayo Bhyasa. Brahman is full of bliss. Krishna, in the Golok Vrindavan, there are so many different palaces where he's dancing, rasa dance, always blissful. Right? Always in bliss. But we are always in misery. He is Sachidananda. If you want his nature, mat bhavopa padyate, if you want his nature, Krishna's nature, we should become mad bhakta. Should become devotee of Krishna. If you become devotee of Krishna, you get the nature of Krishna. Then you will also become blissful, as happy as Krishna. Okay? Making sense? Any questions? Okay, now I'll ask you a question.
1 minute, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This slide is showing material nature, living entity, and super soul.
Yes.
But we were talking about 24 elements.
24
Actually,
elements are, yeah.
yeah, the 23 elements that mind, false ego, and intelligence plus consciousness
Hmm.
that make it 24. So is this the living entity that is the 24th element?
As far as I remember, 24th element, 25th element is the living entity, 26th element is super soul. I have to check once. So let me check that. 1 minute. Just me just quickly check it out. 24 elements. Let me just check that. 24 elements of Sankhya philosophy. Yeah, here we have 24 elements. 24 elements of Sankhya philosophy are, what is the 24th element? 24
Soul.
elements. No, I don't think it. 25th element is time. 26th element is Mahat Tattva, but where is the soul? The soul is not coming into picture here. 5 gross elements, 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15, plus 5 working senses, 20, plus 4 subtle elements. In these 4 subtle elements, but they're mentioning only 3 here. Mind,
Yeah,
intelligence, and
there are
false
only
ego.
3 subtle: false ego, intelligence, and mind. And Bhagavad Gita chapter 13 saying consciousness.
Consciousness.
And the slide that you showed yesterday, the previous week, it showed those table you showed. Now you showed soul is that last one. You included that last time, Prabhuji.
Pradhana is the
In the Pradhana,
24th element.
yes.
I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, Pradhana is the 24th.
Pradhana is the 24th element. Pradhana is there here. You see, Pradhana, from Pradhana, false ego, intelligence, mind are coming. Like this is the order in which it comes. First, Pradhana is like...
Everything is coming from Pradhana, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, everything is coming from Pradhana.
So which is the 24th element?
Pradhana itself. That is also counted as one element.
Inclusive of that.
Inclusive
Okay.
of Pradhana.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, welcome. Okay, now let's get back. Now I have a question for all of you. Tell me, why are we calling living entity as marginal energy? What do you mean by marginal? What is that marginal? Tatastha Shakti.
Prabhuji, it will go, it can surrender to Krishna, or it will be staying in a material world itself. Either go upwards or downwards. So it is marginal.
What is that up and what is that down?
Up means Krishna Loka, Goloka, and down means this material world.
Okay, anybody else? That is the final destination. But can anybody tell? Refine that answer.
That is, we have to travel so many stages to attain the Bhuloga Krishna.
Okay. Anybody else? Why is living entity called
Actually,
Tatastha Shakti? Yes.
We should what do you call either we are in the material plane, or we have to develop ourselves to reach the spiritual plane. So if we are neither in the material plane or in the spiritual plane, we are in the marginal in between. So that is what I have understood, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's right, more or less. We are living entity. Living entity is neither equal to super soul. Super soul is never, he's Achyuta. Achyuta means he never falls down. Krishna, in none of his incarnation, he falls down. But we are Chuta. That means, but at the same time, we are not material nature. We are not dead matter. We are living entity in between Krishna and Maya. But the problem is, we are more attracted to Maya than Krishna. You see, this is the right hand side. Either it's like a cat on the wall, this side or that side, right? So we are more attracted towards Maya. And because we are attracted to Maya, all our suffering is there. But our original nature is not this. Because we have falsely identified with something which we are not, that's why we feel bad.
I just want to add one thing, Prabhuji.
Yes.
It is the soul which is trapped. It is a conditioned soul which is trapped in this material.
Yes.
nature. That is why we have to literally, with great difficulty, we have to come out and enter into this spiritual consciousness.
That's right. That's why Krishna used the word asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva. He said, take the sword of detachment and cut the knot. Because this knot is,
correct.
this knot is like so strong to the material nature. We have to take a sword of detachment and cut it. Then only we can actually come to Krishna. Is it not? If you have to chant, you have to sacrifice something, right? Our material things. There may be so many things pulling to us right now to attend this class. I'm sure you would have done some kind of sacrifice. Is it not? There would have been something else. Maybe you want to do cooking. Maybe you want to do some office work. Maybe you have to do something else. You were supposed to go somewhere, but then you have to literally cut that and then come to Krishna. Is it not?
Yes, exactly. We have to, one should get gain. He had to get sacrifice in the other way.
Yeah.
No, but Prabhuji, sorry to disturb,
Yes,
but
yes.
it is. I don't consider it as a sacrifice. If our goal is so the strong sankalpa is there to attend this class, the way I have done today, I have planned it in such a way that at 6 o'clock I should be in front of this mobile to attend the class. That's the sankalpa is strong. It's we don't have. I mean, I won't think. We'll plan it in such a way that other things are also taken care of at the different
That's
times.
Right. But my question
Sankalpa
is,
should be strong.
Sankalpa should be strong. I agree. But can you guarantee that you can come to the class after 2 years? Same class, for example. If I say.
After 2, I mean, of course, we don't know about.
No. Let us say. No. Let us say you're there still. Will you come to the class?
Hopefully we come.
Sankalpa is rooted. No? If it's rooted.
Yeah. The correct word is hopefully. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying anything against you personally. I'm so sorry. But what I'm trying to say, it is possible for me also. Maybe you all may come. I may be dropping off. I may not be there.
Prabhuji, on the positive side, I would like to say maybe Mataji will be already going to the Vyasasana and having students like how you are having us.
Yeah, she'll be giving a class. Maybe you're all giving a class.
So
maybe it's possible that I may be in material nature entrapped. Possible. Maya is strong. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, that is strong, but you never know. Mataji will be in the Vyasasana seat and she will have devotees like us attending.
Absolutely. Anything can
with
happen.
The Drida Nishchaya, yes.
Drida Sankalpa. Yeah, that's what. So that's what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't come naturally. Maya comes naturally. Krishna doesn't come naturally. We have to fit it. We have to fit devotional service doesn't occur to us naturally. That, I have to go to a Bhagavad Gita class now. Right? Naturally, we may be pulled towards, okay, let me do something else now. Something like that. You see? Because the external energy is so powerful. Again, it's Krishna's energy, right? Krishna is powerful. His agency is also very powerful. Because it is his.
But we can't put the blame on him and say, I'll get attracted to Maya.
Yeah, that's correct. We can't blame him.
In my case, it's totally different.
Yes, we can't blame him as well. We have to be strong. That's right. Yes.
But after 2-3 years of association with you, now when off and on due to illness and all, Prabhuji, I feel once we have come to a point, okay, he is everything. Now we are clear that he is everything. We are nothing.
Yeah.
So there is no question of getting again and again do everything the karma as his service. So then where is the question of even cooking or even attending to office work? Everything is his plan. So we are just executing his plan and Krishnarpamastu.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Nitya Mataji, you were saying something?
Yes, Prabhuji, in my case, it is totally different, Prabhuji. Material things, whatever is that, I'm not enjoying. But, very excitedly, I wanted this class and I come here for the class.
Nice, that's good. That's good.
I'm not like, nothing is so, but Maya is very strong. That I totally agree, Prabhuji, again.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So ultimately, we have to put efforts from our side to be Krishna conscious. That's the final point, okay? Otherwise, by nature, what happens is the marginal energy is chuta. It is fallible. It slips back to the middle nature. So we have to very strongly, we have to do the Krishna consciousness. We have to stay in the association, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. So that's why we should take the shelter of the spiritual master so that we become committed. So all this comes, this helps. Otherwise, without commitment, what happens? We fall back. That's what happens.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
I just have one doubt. It is a simple doubt.
Yes.
The thing is, we should have a mindset that we are going to be eternally here and we are the eternal servant of Krishna. That mindset should we have, or we read in so many personality development books and other things. They say that you live life that such that there is no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow like that. What is the right mindset? What is the right mindset? And we should think that we are going to live here eternally and we are eternal servant of Krishna. Eternally, that point should be there, or how is it, Prabhuji?
No,
Please
we should think that we are eternally going to live, and we should do our material activities. Actually, that's a spiritual vision. There's a rishi called Lomasha Rishi. Okay, did I tell you about him? As many as hairs he has got on his body, so many lifetimes of Brahma he will be alive. One lifetime of Brahma is unimaginable for us, 311 trillion and 40 billion years. But you multiply it by the number of hairs he has on his body. That is a lifetime. That is Lomasha Rishi. And one day, he was asked, he was telling to his disciples that, okay, come, we'll rest under this tree. Then the disciples said, why don't you build an ashram, Guru Maharaj? Then he said, you don't know when I will die. My life is so temporary. He is saying that he's going to live for unimaginable amount of time, but he's saying, I don't have time. I don't know when I'm going to die. Let me focus on spirituality. Okay? So that should be the mood. If you want to make spiritual progress, we should think like that. Okay? We should, and if you want to make spiritual progress, we should think that I'm going to die tomorrow. Therefore, let me be fast in Krishna consciousness. Like that, we should think. But when you're thinking about making money or something like that, we should think, okay, I've got 100 years of time. Okay, let me plan my financial goals in something like that. Space it out. That's the recommendation. Okay. All right. So we'll see one two shloka and we'll stop. Karya karana kartrutve hetu prakritiruchyate purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve heturuchyate. Nature is the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of all the various sufferings and the enjoyments in this world. So, we are the cause for our sufferings and enjoyment, not Krishna. Okay, because like Krishna has given us a playground. Now you play. How you are going to play is completely left to you. Just like I give you one big land. Now I give you full freedom. You do whatever you want to do. Sometimes we have some video games also, right? Computer games where you have to construct the complete kingdom. You are the king. So you can make choices. You are going to make choices. So based on the choices that you make, based on the activities that you do, you get happiness or distress based on the karma. So living entity is the cause. We are the cause for our happiness. We are the cause for our suffering, ultimately. Okay, it's not Krishna. Krishna is not, telling us to do like this. He's not saying be trapped. He's not saying be suffer. We are trapped. Actually. There's one story also where there's Ashtavakra Rishi. He was being asked by Janak Maharaj that why does Maya catch us so badly? Maya, that's what we say. Maya is very strong. Maya catches, right? Then he went running. And he caught a tree. And he said, help me, help me, help me. Help me to remove this bondage from this tree. Then everybody was saying, why are you catching it? Why don't you leave it? He said, that's the thing. Okay, it's not that Maya is coming and trapping us. We go and embrace Maya. Got it, right? So it's like our choice. Just remove your hands. That's it. Turn towards Krishna, finished. Liberation. That's as simple as that. Okay. Make sense? Okay, so this is very interesting. This is the Jantu prayers. Okay, maybe we'll do it the next time. It's interesting. Jantu prayers. This is from the Jantu means actually fetus. Okay, fetus. Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a description of embryology. This is 5,000 years old literature. Okay, this is written how the embryo grows from day 1 till the 9 months, and how the embryo gets consciousness within, and how the embryo sometimes gets the knowledge of spiritual knowledge, sometimes remembers the past life and prays to Krishna that this lifetime I shall be very spiritual person. This lifetime I'll do bhakti properly. Okay, I've done so wrongly. All my previous life I was such a fool. This lifetime I'm going to be good. Right? How many of you feel like that sometimes? That, okay, this last year, 2023, was bad. 24, I'm going to be very strict. Have you thought like that anytime? Right? Yes. So it's
But
like
it's
that.
a little upside down for me, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Every time I look back, I feel, 22 was so nice. I attended so many Bhagavad Gita classes with you and Premamai and all. And 23 like that. Now, actually, this year I've been so sick that I had to, of course, make a lot of effort to, okay, I must attend the class. And of course, you have been motivating me so much. Then I started, but I hope this will go on. And I don't want to fall sick again. But when I look back, it's always much better the past than thinking now this is bad.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Just keep coming. Hare Krishna. Yes. So, okay,
With all
we
your
will.
blessings.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna
Definitely,
Prabhuji,
Hare
based on
Krishna,
what you said, that
Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yeah.
based on what you said, that means when we are planning materially, we have to think that we are going to live eternally, and when we are thinking about spiritual progress, we should think that there is no more or something like that. Is it right,
Exactly.
Prabhuji?
That's the right
Mhm.
attitude. That's what is the recommended approach.
Fine, fine. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Because spiritual life is more important than material life, because spirit is more important than matter, right? We are not the body, we are the spirit soul. That's long term. That's more impactful work rather than just working on the body. It's better to work on the soul. Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you very much, devotees. So thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat pranams, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna. Anybody who has joined the class for the first time today? Hare Krishna.
I joined today and I'm
Yes.
glad I joined. I'm so happy
Okay.
that I was
Thank you. Welcome
attending the class.
back,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Premalata Mataji. Welcome back. Hare Krishna. Anybody else who was joined for the first time today? Okay.
This will be on every Wednesday alone
Every
or
Wednesday.
every day?
Every Wednesday
Every Wednesday.
at 6
Okay,
p.m.
thank
Okay. So let's wrap up.
Thank you.
So let's all chant
Thank
Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once. Can you unmute yourself and chant?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Thank you,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare.
Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna
pranam.
Prabhuji,
Thank you,
Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranams. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
I want to ask you one thing, tell you
Yes.
one thing.
Yeah.
The pictures of that embryology that you showed is what our textbook had, Prabhuji.
Is it? Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the pictures are taken from the modern science pictures only. I didn't take it from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam has textual description. Photos are from that's a computer images, right? Computer generated images there.
Okay, because I'm thinking our textbooks have copied Bhagavatam.
Not really. I don't know who copied whom, but the point is the description you can go through how the embryo is developing. Okay, is given very detailed, blow by blow details.
Which chapter, Prabhuji?
Can I WhatsApp you?
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Actually, Prabhuji, in some temple sculpture, they have sculpted the various stages of even these fetuses, it seems.
Okay,
I
that's
saw
very interesting.
sometime. Yes, those days, it is some thousands of years ago.
Nice.
They have done it.
3.31 Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, that's nice. Yes, Mataji. Got it. Possible, like long back only. But what is important is embryology is something interesting. But what is important is how the consciousness develops, right? That is very important. Srimad Bhagavatam tells how the baby is feeling.
That we have read, Prabhuji. Along with you only we read.
3.31, correct. How the baby feels, we see. That is very interesting thing.
Yes.
Right? What is the consciousness? What is the realization the baby gets within the body if it remembers the past life? Not every time it remembers. Sometimes if it is lucky, it remembers the past life and then it starts lamenting the baby inside. So what did I do all my life? Why am I here? Like that. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank you,
devotees.
Prabhuji. Thank you.